Hello and welcome, I'm Dante from Low Mana, and today we're following up on the social feature changes now announced in the more recent blog post. These new features have already dropped onto the PTR, so be sure to check them out for yourself. It's been a few weeks since the last developer update, primarily aimed at the Korean community, announced some incoming social changes. They've now dropped onto the PTR along with some long-awaited patch notes. As always, links if you want to check these out yourself will be in the description below. The big feature dropping in the first wave of social enhancements is the endorsement system. As we theorize, this is Blizzard's attempt to reinforce positive behaviors, rather than just punishing negative ones. Coming in the form of a voting system split into 3 positive behaviors, the first being for sportsmanship, the only option that can be rewarded to both friendly teammates and the opposing team. Pretty straightforward reward for anyone you think played well, respectfully, etc. The second is for being a good team player, a time for all those hands-on mains to repent and switch to support roles, as well as promoting using features such as team comms and for those players that actually play the objective instead of chasing kills. The third is along the same lines as the shot caller, for that person who helps lead the team, shouts out enemy positions, or helps coordinate a great play. So how are people encouraged to actually use the system? Primarily there are 2 ways. Every time you use the feature, you gain 25 experience. Not much, but over enough games this can add up to a few loot boxes. The other more prominent one is your endorsement rating. This is shown publicly next to your level, ranged from 1 to 5 and includes a little pie chart ring to show the type of endorsements you have received. Although it primarily acts as a way to signal to others how you have been perceived in other games, it can also provide periodic benefits. For those that have received the highest rating, Blizzard will periodically give them rewards. What these are hasn't been confirmed, but loot boxes, player icons, sprays etc. seem the most likely. The endorsement rating doesn't last forever though, featuring decay over time, meaning players need to keep up their positive behaviours to keep their ratings. Also, if a player becomes the target of any action in response to being reported and then confirmed, the endorsement rating is reset, alongside a feature you can see in Heroes of the Storm. Other players will be able to see if a player has previously been actioned against, alongside that person being silenced in some cases. The other major system being tested on the PTR right now is the looking for group feature. If you've ever used the LFG tool from WoW, you will be familiar with how this works. You can customize a team comp and the style of player you're looking for, including restricting roles for the group to force composition types. Players in the specific roles will be restricted to characters in those categories. So if you don't have a consistent group to play with and want to play in a particular way, with people who all use comms or perhaps to climb the ladder with a specific comp, this tool should have some of those answers for you. There is another minor update we see associated with this feature. We see the return of the Holy Trinity as the roles are now reduced to tanks, supports and damage roles. No more separation between offense and defense. Next up we've got the Symmetra rework. Her entire kit has been overhauled, opening up some new ways to play, but it will take some time to see if this opens up a slot for her in the meta. Her standard left click photon projector now has no lock on, has longer range, takes longer to fully charge, but does significantly more damage at all 3 stages. And as a nice new feature, it regains energy when attacking barriers, possibly to make up for the changes to her alternative fire. Her orbs now charge faster, travel faster, but instead of piercing targets, they explode on contact, hitting very hard. 60 damage when fully charged, including on the small explosion radius. The sentry turrets have now been upgraded, but reduced in number, and instead of being deployed, they are launched like a slow-moving projectile. They can be shot while travelling, but this allows Symmetra to get her turrets set up in unusual places, and even sneak them past enemies who don't shoot them down. For Symmetra's last basic ability, we've lost her previous barrier, and instead have gained her teleporter, which itself has gone under significant changes. No longer a short way back from the spawn room, but another way to traverse the map. It places in a way very similar to how Reaper's teleport works. However, it can be used by the entire team, opening up shortcuts and parts of the maps characters usually couldn't reach. You can even teleport Junkrat's wheel through it, and sneakiness behind enemy lines means some deadly flanks can be achieved. So with the teleporter moved from an ultimate, we now see the barrier take its place, only much larger. This 5000 HP shield spans the whole map once placed, shielding off multiple entrances from the ground to the top of the skybox. It'll be interesting to see what creative ways people find to use this. Dropping it in the face of an ulting Pharah comes to mind personally. The last change I'll be covering today is the update to the Horizon Lunar Colony. Several changes to the walkways and reductions in cover should finally make the map a little bit more competitive. The spawn room at point B has been significantly changed, making it harder to abuse the healing while still defending. The most important part, at least for me, is a very subtle change near Winston's room. Another room has been opened, the room of Specimen 8, currently rumoured to be Simon, one of the other subjects that supposedly led the breakout on the station, leading to Winston's escape, which is actually the most important thing we find in this room, a blueprint of Winston's escape pod, although he looks significantly larger in the picture than we expected, being fully grown by the time he escaped. Not much has been learned about Specimen 8 itself, but this does seem to be a clear hint at a new hero, with new lore for both Horizon, Winston, and the events that transpired incoming. Thanks for checking out our coverage of the new social updates along with the patch notes. If you enjoyed this video, please use that like button, subscribe to support the channel, and you can use the little bell for notifications as content goes live. Until next time, I've been Dante, thanks for watching.